citation. They already busted me twice.
On what?
I stole the Perfect Strangers theme for Guello.
And they knew it?
Software knows it. But there's ways to trick it, but
What's software?
I don't know, because they catch it immediately.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
What they told me was, okay, well, you can keep it, but you can't make money off it, and if you do make money off it, we get the money.
Yeah, you're gonna give the money to Perfect Strangers when you make money on this.
Yeah, so basically Perfect Strangers owns the show at this point.
So, but Perfect Strangers is owned by ABC, which was owned by Disney. So Disney owns this show.
Yeah.
So this show is part of the Star Wars canon now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that makes this
Star Wars.
the Star Wars show.
It's episode 9. I want to talk about how you don't do karaoke anymore.
Why I don't do karaoke?
Yeah, I want to talk about why you don't do karaoke anymore, and I want to talk about how we used to go down to the sports page. We'd order the hot tamales, and we would sing songs, and you would sing with me, and we'd sing all the things that she said.
All the things she said, and we did doll parts, and those guys called us.
They did doll parts, and the guys called us that word. And we did Mr. Roboto, and we used to talk to people during the Mr. Roboto instrumental parts, and they would be afraid to talk to us because we would probably look psychotic. But you don't do that anymore. You just kind of like go to karaoke and drink like a Narragansett and like hang out with like other people and just like leave and don't even say goodbye to me. That's like our relationship right now. I'm pretty sure like you go to stores, you buy your stuff, and then you leave, and you don't even like say goodbye. You just like walk out.
When I leave one stop, I always say goodbye.
Yeah, good. I hope you do. You should say goodbye to everybody whenever you leave anywhere.
Why?
Because they want to know where you go.
No, they don't.
Because they could.
And let's get one thing straight. I don't go anywhere. I go to Bill and Bob's.
Do you know the amount of snuff films that get made in Beverly on a balance of people that don't say goodbye? If you say goodbye, you've insinuated the fact that you have left the place now. You're not going to be wanting to be in a snuff film. You just want to go home. So I don't know why you don't say goodbye to everybody everywhere you go, whenever you're there, anywhere.
Well, do you?
I don't have to.
Karaoke, let's be honest, Nick. Karaoke is a fun time, but let's be honest, sometimes it can be brutal. Am I wrong?
I gotta say, if you look at karaoke as a show instead of as a performance, you can take the brutalness with the goodness, and everything just melds into one. So I look at karaoke as not really a thing of humanity, of more of a fictional story of that is going on in my brain, right. And other people just happen to be there. And the show's different every night, so it's cool. It's like a soap opera, but not, because no one really drives cars in it.
Is this your dream? Is this what you always wanted to do?
I mean, the dream of anyone, I think, is to not have as many holes in their wall as you do. Who are your heroes when you grew up?
When I grew up?
Yeah, when you grew up. Don't you feel like in conversations usually people look at each other?
I don't know.
All right, tell me your heroes. I'm not going to look at you when you tell me, though.
In a way, I guess I always looked up to Balky. So that's kind of why.
Well, I guess that's full circle on your old Perfect Stranger thing. Yeah,
exactly.
That makes sense. Larry's the one that had all the ideas, though. Belky just kind of was a follower.
Well, I disagree, because I don't think Belky was a follower. I mean, he was obviously the breakout star of that show.
Right, but Belky, if you look at it in the darker sense of the terms, he was a fresh face in an uncaring world.
Sorry.
What's wrong with you?
He was a fresh face.
So, all right. When you were thinking about talking to have me do this thing...
No, Nick, you came up to me without ever watching the show, complaining that you weren't on it.
That's true.
And I said, well, Nick, when you have something to promote, come, we can do it. And you said, I do karaoke 5 nights a week.
That's true.
And I said, all right, well, let's talk about karaoke. And then I said, all right, when do you want to do it? And you said, I'll do it, but I don't want to talk about karaoke.
Well, I just feel like...
Karaokes.
When were you, like... correct? Hey, remember that time that I hosted the open mix at Smith's Light?
Oh, you want to talk about that, do you?
I mean, those were something that happened.
That's where I met you, is at the open mic.
We got a lot of enemies because of that.
We did. Well, what you did was make yourself an authority figure that we could fake fight against.
Which open mic nights do not work, so just remember that.
Well, it did work to a certain extent because the bar was going down, so it was like they didn't care, and we were bringing money those nights. People were coming, people were acting crazy. Does it work in a normal? Is it ideal for a bar to have a thing like that? No, not really. Unless you had that kind of, if you had that strong of a following or that kind of audience, you could get away with it. I always wished that we could like take it elsewhere and do it at more places, but you'd have to have a following online first to get people to know what it was or something.
Yeah, it's hard to do an open mic with storyline.
I mean, you wrote a script for every week of open mic, but it became a stressful kind of thing in a way because it was like so much stuff to do.
There was a lot of stuff, and I ran out of ideas because it's like, all right, well, there's a guy with the guitar, another guy with the guitar. All right, what do I do?
There's only so much you could do with it.
There's only so much you can do with it until you finally have to just decapitate somebody. And I was just not ready for a decapitation show yet. Now I think it'd be fine.